Right, we can get started with another demo for the benefit of a watching audience. And the numbers are up now. I've got people on Twitch, I've got people on Facebook. This is great. Okay, right, now let's assign you a colour. You can be the, let's see, red player next to me. Excellent. Right. Right, okay, well, I'll run through the rules. I've already moved the blue and the white pieces out of the way, so that's good. So it just remains to explain how to play. Well, I think you said you played a demo before, so some of this may be familiar to you, but...
Quite a while ago, I think, at this point.
Okay, so this is Circulari, a game for 1 to 4 players. A game of tactics and resource management for 1 to 4 players, I should say. Set in the accretion disk of a black hole. And you, the players, are the titular Circulari, that is to say, deep space miners, operating in this field of asteroids orbiting the black hole. Asteroids filled with valuable resources that you will wish to harvest. So the objective of the game is to be the best Circulari, and you will be rated on your performance of being a Circulari using this talent track at the top of your fleet board. There we go. I use the tab button to point out what I'm looking at. There we go. So there's the red player's talent track, and they will accumulate talent points through various actions throughout the game. The game ends when one player reaches 7 or more talent points, and then there is a final round where everyone else gets 1 additional turn to catch up if they can. Excuse me. And then the most talented Circulari, the one with the most talent points, perhaps 14 if you're really good, is the winner. So let's explain how you earn those talent points, how you play the game. So we take it in turns, like many games, and each turn consists of 2 distinct phases. And the first phase is called the action phase. And there are 4 different actions you can perform. They're indicated here. I'll just zoom in for the benefit of our Twitch viewers. There we go. They're indicated here on the quick reference area of your fleet board. So there are 4 different actions you can take. And I'll just run through what they are and what they do. So the first action is called deploy robots. So when you deploy robots, you take a robot that's not being used for anything. That's the 0 resources area of your fleet board, and you drop it on the space station. And that increases the size of your active mining fleet here. So at the beginning of the game, everyone starts off with 4 robots, but when you deploy a robot, you can add to that. So the red player now has 5 robots, and so on. But it comes at a cost, of course, because you've only got so many cubes, which you'll use for other things, as I'll explain. So there's a balance to be made there. The next action is called the move robots action, and this is the most commonly played action in the game. This is a really important one. The move robots action is how you get your robotic mining fleet deployed across the asteroid belt. And when you play it, you have to think about how many movement modules you have. So at the beginning of the game, everyone has 4 movement modules. Yeah. And what that means is, I'll just zoom in, is you could take one of your robots, and you could go 1, 2, 3, 4 asteroids around anti-clockwise, or you could go 1, 2, 3, 4 asteroids in a clockwise direction, or you could take all 4 asteroids and go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, just to an adjacent asteroid, or basically any free combination of this kind of movement. So you could go, let's move them back. You could go, well, I'm going to take this asteroid, and this robot rather, and I'm going to go 1, I'm going to go 2, and I'll just take these other 2 asteroids, and I'll go 3, and I'll go 4. There you go, that's 4 movement modules spent, so I've got 1 asteroid I can't move, 1 robot, keep on saying asteroid rather than robot. You've got 1 robot you can't move because you've run out of movement modules, but if you have more movement modules, you could move it. So that's basically how it works. You'll notice that the asteroids are divided into 3 different sections. So there's this central section, the thruster robots, there's the ones with the little cogs, they're the metal extractor robots for mining metal, and the white ones, the little thunderbolt symbols, they are energy collector robots. So these sections have different functions. I'll get into that in a minute. But it's important to know if you want to change what section you're in, that also costs you 1 movements module worth of movement. So that is move robots. The next action you could take is the upgrade action. And the upgrade action is the first action we've looked at that has a cost in terms of resources. It costs 1 metal, that's the yellow cogs, and 2 thunderbolts, 2 energy, that's the blue thunderbolts. So at the beginning of the game you don't have that many resources, but if you did, you could spend them and you could upgrade. What can you upgrade? You can upgrade your movement modules like so. 1 step along, you could get 5 movement modules, or upgrade twice, you could get 6 movement modules. That's fairly self-explanatory, we've explained those. You can also upgrade your command channels, which I'll get to in a minute, what exactly command channels are and what they're good for. Important thing to note, when you upgrade your movement modules, you get to move robots immediately as part of your upgrade action. So if you play upgrade to 5, then you can also move your robots with up to 5 steps, 5 modules worth of movement as part of that action, without taking a separate move robots action. If you upgrade twice the same thing, either movement modules or command channels, or both, one of the 4 ways to earn talent points in the game is maxing out a track. There is a bonus talent point at the end of that, at the end of each of those tracks. So that's upgrading. And the 4th and final, but by no means least important action, it is a very important action, is the export action. So this one also has a cost to it. It costs you 3 metal and 2 energy. And when you execute this action, its function is straightforward. You spend those resources, you send them back home to your home civilization to fuel the fires of industry, and you are rewarded with 2 talent points. That's 2 talent points for doing your job. So those are the 4 different actions. So on your turn, you can pick any one of these actions, if you can afford it, and take that action. And if you wish, you may also take a second action. The second action has a cost of 2 energy. So if you take the first action, you may then spend, you might spend then 2 energy like that. And you may take a second action. That could be the same action again, or you could take a different action. Anyway, once you've done your actions, 1 or 2, or none really, if you feel like it, then the action phase is over, and we move on to the command phase. So in the command phase, there's now also a little quick reference area here, which tells you about the different commands you can do. And when you do the command phase, you have to think about how many command channels you have. And at the beginning of the game, everyone has 1 command channel, and what that means is that you can move at most 1 asteroid. And in order to move an asteroid, you need to have some robots on the central section. These are the thruster robots. You need to have some robots. Actually, I'll probably put them on this asteroid. It'd be better to demonstrate if I put them on this asteroid. So let's say I'm the yellow player after all, I've got 3 thruster robots on this asteroid. What that means is, in my command phase, I can send this asteroid 3 commands. And the first command that you'll see in the quick reference area is the shift command. And what the shift command does is it lets you move your asteroids. So I could move them like this. I can go 1 space like that. Or I could go 2. Or I could go 3, like so. 3 spaces. I could do that clockwise. Or if I go back to where I started, I could do that anti-clockwise. I can go 1 space, or I can go 2 spaces. Sorry, I've said clockwise and anti-clockwise backwards. But I can go in both directions. I can go anti-clockwise, and I can go clockwise. But I can only go 2 spaces clockwise, because any further would take me into the space station, and the one thing you can't do is you can't go into the space station. So this is as far as I can go in this direction, even though I've got 3 thrusters. If I only had 2 thrusters, I wouldn't be able to move as far. With only 1 thruster, I could only move one space around the black hole. Right, so that's shifting. That's the first command you can do. But you can also use those thrusters to do some other things. So you can't go past the space station, but there is something special that happens when you get next to it. So let's go into that. Let me illustrate what special things happen. So let's imagine that you had some robots here. I'll just put some robots here. Maybe I'll put a red robot there, for diversity's sake. And we'll just flip this asteroid around into the metal orientation. So metal, you'll notice that the asteroids are played in two different orientations. So it's the label that's facing the black hole that's considered to be the active one. So some asteroids are waste rock. They've already been mined out. There are no useful resources left. And some of them are metal ore. Still got lots of resources waiting to be mined. And what we want to do is we want to get our metal ore, generally speaking, moving in a clockwise direction. That's the direction of this little filled in arrow. And we want to bring it here to our metal ore slot. And this is where the mining takes place. So we've got two thrusters. So I can use the first thruster to bring my asteroid into the metal ore slot. And then the second thruster to actually perform the extract command. That's the thing here on your quick reference board. Right. So what happens is when I do the extract, I get one metal for being the player who does the extracting. And also, each player who has a cube on any of the metal extraction spaces also gets one metal. So what would happen in this case would be that I would score 2 metal, and the red player would score exactly 1 metal. And then finally, I just right click on it, and there's a little context menu with some options. And I'm going to pick the second one, which is set to waste rock. So I click that, and it flips around. And so that's to indicate that all the metal's been mined now, and it's now waste rock. So our waste rock, you'll now note that the filled in arrow is pointing in the opposite direction, anti-clockwise. And that's because we want to get our waste rock round anti-clockwise to here, to this waste rock slot, where we can deorbit it into the black hole. And I'll just show you what that looks like. I'm going to set this one to waste rock. And I'm going to put some cubes in various places. Like so. Okay. So likewise, the waste rock, it wants to move anti-clockwise round to here to be deorbited. So I've got 2 thrusters again. So what happens is we use the first thruster to move it into the slot, and then the second thruster to perform the actual deorbit. So when we deorbit, 2 things happen. The first thing, let's see, is my player board, isn't it? The first thing is that I score a talent point. Just see here, you score 1 talent point for being the player to do it, for helping to keep the disc clear of hazardous debris, waste rock that's no good to anyone. And the second thing is that as the waste rock falls into the black hole, it causes some energy to be radiated, and any player who has robots on the energy collector spaces anywhere in the asteroid field gets energy. So in this case, I've got 1 cube here, so I'm going to get 1 energy. And the red player, Mr. Blyat, has 2 cubes, 1 here and 1 here. I'll do the tab thing. Tab. There you go. Has 2 energy collectors, and so they would gain 2 energy. And then finally, as the asteroid falls into the black hole, in the nick of time, again there's this context menu, you right click, there's an option called evacuate, and I click evacuate, you should be able to see the buttons, and then I press evacuate, and my robots fly off the asteroid in the nick of time before they fall into the black hole. And then I just drag it over here to this outer disk space, and it gets replaced by a fresh new metal ore asteroid. And that is basically the core of the game. You basically have action phase, robots move around, there are victory points through exporting and through maxing out your upgrades. Then command phase, metal ore wants to move clockwise, waste rock wants to move anti-clockwise, and you extract the metal from your metal ore, and you deorbit your waste rock to gain talent points and energy for all the energy collectors in the orbit, and then you play until somebody reaches 7 or more points, and when they do, that triggers the end of the game. So every other player then gets 1 final turn. So if red had won, then yellow would just get one more turn to maybe pip them to the post, outrun them, if possible. And then the game ends. And once the game has ended, there are some extra talent points that are awarded depending on how many resources you have left, how much metal and energy you have left at the end. So if you've been very efficient and you don't have any metal or energy left at the end, then you score 1 extra talent point for being so efficient. If you have between 1 and 5 metal and energy added together, you don't score any talent points because that's wasteful. But if you have 6 to 11 talent points, then you score 1 talent point for having left a surplus. And if you have 12 or more talent points, which is very difficult and possibly not a good idea, but if you manage it, then you get 2 talent points for having a really abundant surplus. And that is the game. So, any questions?
Just to clarify, the extract and deorbit are command actions after they're unrelated to the actions phase, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the action phase, you move your robots, or deploy robots, or upgrade or export. Once the action phase is finished with, then you get the command phase. And that's when you move the asteroids about, or you do the extracting, or you do the deorbiting.
And when you move a cube around, is it 1 movement point to move them within an asteroid, and do they have to be in the movement section to move to a different asteroid?
They don't have to be in the movement section to be in the asteroid, so you can basically, if you've got a cube here, it will cost you 1 movement module's worth to move it to a different section on the same asteroid, or to move it onto any section in an adjacent asteroid.
Okay, so you can move straight into any section in an asteroid.
Yes.
You don't have to move into the middle one.
You don't have to. No. Or equally to move on or off the space station onto an adjacent asteroid.
Excellent.
There's just one point I wanted to clarify, actually, is command channels. So, as a practical example of the utility of command channels, if you have thruster robots on more than one asteroid, but you've only got 1 command channel, you can only move 1 of these asteroids in your command phase. If you have upgraded to 2 command channels, then you could move first 1 and then the other. And if you have 3 command channels, you could move 3 of them if you have the thruster robots in place. So that is the purpose of command channels. It does not allow you to move the same asteroid twice.
Okay.
Right. Okay, I will just reset the board. I think it's there we go. And because this is a demo, we will start on 4 talent points. Right. Would you like me to take the first turn, or do you want to give it a shot?
No, go ahead.
All right. So I am yellow. Let's see. What am I going to do? Those cubes have bounced about. I'll just move the white and the blue out of the way. So, I am yellow. I am going to move robots. I'm going to move robots here. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 onto the waste rock. And 4 also onto the waste rock. So 3 on the thrusters, 1 on the energy collector. So I don't want to take a second action, so that's the end of my action phase. So now my command phase, so I've got this 1 asteroid with 3 thrusters on it, so I can move it 1, 2, 3 asteroids anti-clockwise, which I have now done. So that's now the end of my turn. And it's your turn.
Alright. So I suppose then I will probably also take a move robots action, since that seems to be the done thing. I will do so. move one here. One here.
Mhm.
Like so.
Okay.
And then I will use a command action to move that there.
Yes.
Fantastic.
All right. So it's my turn.
Sorry, so you could spend 2 energy to get the second action. That was it. I was trying to work out how you get additional actions in a turn, but yes.
Yes, 2 energy, yeah. Okay, so I'm within shooting distance of the waste rock. Do I want to? I think that could work for me. Yes, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the deploy robots action. So add one more robot to the space station, and then I am going to shift twice to here, but I am not going to deorbit just yet. I'm going to wait on the cusp. So that's the end of my turn.
Okay, so I will also take a deploy robots action, and then a command phase. I will move this around 1.
Okay. So I'm going to move robots. Yeah, I'm going to move robots. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to move 4. And then that concludes my action phase. For my command phase, I will now deorbit this waste rock. So, firstly, score a talent point. Next, we get energy. So I get 2 energy and you get 1 energy.
Yep.
And then we evacuate the asteroid. And then drag it out here to the outer disk. And we get a fresh metal ore asteroid from a higher orbit. And it's your turn.
Okay. I will take a move action. I will move this guy here, and then move 1, 2, 1, 2 there, and I will waste the other movement.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will command this lot across to here.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, across to there. Sorry, not there. There. The 2 spaces.
Excellent.
Yeah, your turn.
Yes, it is. Okay. What? Any good? 2, 3. Right, okay. I am going to move robots, I think. Yeah, I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. Whoops. And let's go 4. Right, so then this one will move 1. For command phase, I shift this once, twice, and thrice. Your turn.
Okay. This rather makes this turn a bit awkward. I suppose you have to do your actions before your commands, don't you?
You do.
How disappointing. I will take a move action to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will extract from here.
Mm-hmm.
So I get.
If you right click on it, you can set it to.
So that goes to waste rock. These guys all stay in place, right?
They all stay in place. Yep.
And then I get 3 metal, and you get 1, right?
That is correct. Yep.
And there's no victory points associated with extracting, only with
Not
deal.
with extracting. Yep.
All right.
Great. Okay, so my turn. Okay, so I'm almost. I can 1, 2. Yeah, so I can extract that this turn. Where's my other? Oh, there's my other cube. I suppose that. Yeah, I'm going to deploy another robot, I think. For my action, and then for my command phase, I'm going to continue 1, 2 around here. And then with my third, I'm then going to extract this asteroid here by set it to waste rock. So I will gain 2 metal for that. 1 for doing it, and 1 for my solitary metal extraction cube. And it's your turn.
Okay, so I can put that there potentially, but I also want to do an export. So yeah, it'll be an export first, I suppose, which will be that and that, which gets me 2 victory points.
Mm-hmm.
And then a shift will put that there.
Ooh. You're on the cusp of victory.
As are you.
True, yes. Let's see if I can turn it around. Okay, well, I mean, the obvious thing is that you've left a thruster robot space open on that asteroid.
True enough, true enough.
So I can move robots there. Do I want to move any other robots? Have any? Okay, so I do have enough to... Yes, I think that will do me. Yeah. Do any other actions? I mean, I could export myself.
Would end the game.
It would end the game. And I would also get a victory point from doing that, which would take me to 8. Do you have any other opportunities? Ah, wait. Oh, no, I can. Yes, no, I can, because I've got 2 energy as well. Okay, well, I suppose now I've said it, I best do it. Okay, right, so I moved my robot once. I don't think there's any other kind of movement I want to do. I suppose maybe energy, since I'm not going to end up with 0. I suppose I could collect some more energy. I don't think it will do me any good, but I can move these 3 as well onto the energy collectors. Yeah, so then I spend 2 energy to take a second action, and then I spend... Oh, wait, no, actually. No, I would end on 0. I misread that. Okay, I don't want to move those. I want to make sure I don't...
So what is the criteria for being able to deorbit a waste rock that's sitting in the waste rock space? Can anyone do that, or do you have to have...
Anyone can do it, as long as you've got a thruster. Because
But you have to have someone in the thruster section.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I spend 2 energy, and then I spend my 3 metal and 2 energy. Yeah, 1, 2, to perform the export. And then, for the command phase, I then do the deorbit, which yields... No one has any energy collectors, so it just remains to evacuate that, drag that on. I score 1 more point. And then that ends my turn, so you get 1 more turn.
Yep, in which case I can do basically nothing. Yep. As far as I can see, I could do a move there and then a move around, but then I don't have the ability to do a deorbit action. I'd have nowhere near being able to do any kind of upgrade or export actions, and therefore I think this game is pretty much just over, unless you're able to see any lines that I'm not.
No, I don't think you have any other options open, do you know? So
yeah, I think my mistake was clearly leaving the open thruster section, which I did not consider, and basically feeding you 3 points. But no.
So then there's just one final tally up of additional points. So because I finished the game with no metal or energy, I score 1 additional talent point for that, for my efficiency.
Excellent.
And that ends the game on 9 versus 6. So
very good.
Despite the fact that I won, in a way, really, it's my fault for winning, because you as a demonstrator, you ought to be able to let your players win.
It would be no fun otherwise.
But thank you very much for playing. Do you have any other questions or you want to ask about Circulari?
I don't suppose. So this tabletop simulator version, is this publicly available?
It's not publicly available yet. I will be making it publicly available at some point in the future. I think probably once, a bit later on in the year, once I've got the final artwork in.
All right, excellent. Well, thanks a lot for the demo. This has been very good. I'm very much looking forward to the release. I think this is a really cute little game. Good luck with everything.
Well, thank you for playing. It's been fun. I'll send you a link in the private chat to the UK Games Expo badge. I don't know if you're collecting badges, but there is all exhibitors have a badge to hand out for anyone who demos their game, so you can accumulate these things if you like collecting things. There you go, I send it to you. So if anyone else wants to play, if anyone wants to make sure they get all the badges, then come and play a demo of Circulari. I have a badge for you. So thanks again for playing, and if you want to keep in, if you're not already signed up to our email newsletter, then you can sign up on the website. It's on the front page, and you will get an email very infrequently, but you will definitely get an email when the Kickstarter launches.
Great. Thanks a lot for everything. I'll see you around.
Thanks. Bye.